What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Jay and this is the Jay Sinky channel. Guys, I am tired. It's been a long day. I had work today. I had to get up early. Anyway, I had a long day today, so I'm sorry if I look pretty tired. But you guys have been showing a lot of love for the Talkin Tackle, and someone even said Talkin Tackle Thursday, so I'm going to do my best to keep doing them on Thursdays. It's Wednesday night, so goal is wake up tomorrow morning, edit this video, and get it out to you by 7 o'clock. That's the goal. Anyway, guys, in today's video, and what we're going to be talking about, the tackle that we are going to be talking about, I like saying that, even though it's a mouthful. It's kind of fun to say. So, the tackle that we will be talking about in this video, guys, is going to be lipless crankbaits. Y'all, this video is sponsored by Carl's Bait and Tackle. They got huge sales going on right now for the holidays, so you need to go check them out. They got deals going on. It's called Fishmas for a reason, y'all. And Santa Carl is bringing you all the great deals that are going on right now. Also, you get a free month trial to be a member. So a free month. Yeah, I said that right. A free month trial to be a member, so you can actually see all the great benefits that come with being a member. So why not give it a try right around the holidays? So check them out, guys. What is a lipless crankbait? Sounds pretty self-explanatory, but let's just be real about what it really is. It is basically a flat-sided crankbait with no bill. That's really just all it is. There's no square bill to it, and it's just a flat-sided, got that tight wobble. And all of them are going to have, actually, I take that back, not all of them. They do have silent versions, but most of them are going to have some sort of knocker in it. You got thick knockers like that, and then you got little smaller ones that sound like that. You got other ones that sound something like that. Oh, and then you even got tiny ones that sound like that. That's a little one. That's that little tiny micro Guggen clutch that just dropped not too long ago, guys. This thing, honestly, I'm pretty excited for these cold months for it to come up. It may not get it. I mean, it might get some giants. We'll see. I don't know, but I do want to try this one out. This little micro guy's just exciting right here. So, lipless crankbait. Simply a crankbait without a bill. It's that simple. Now, when it comes to actually fishing a lipless crankbait, people will tell you that you can fish him any season if you want to. It just kind of depends on the stroll and the roll that you have in your retrieve. They shine the most during spring and fall time, but let me tell you guys, do not knock winter out. I have actually caught a 5.2 pounds bass on this one right here. Not this specific one, this is a new one, but this pattern, this specific, lipless crankbait right here, and I will forever be behind this one now. It is, look, you don't see the hook, right? Because the hook's right here in a bag. This is the Jinko trapline rip knocker. You hear the knocker in that one? Now, what I think really got him that day was that just bluegill pattern right there. And that day specifically, what happened was I was paying attention and I saw a heron and he was feeding on bluegill. So I went to where he was, and sure enough, I saw the bluegill feeding up, and I had that perfect bluegill pattern right there. I threw it in there and I caught bass after bass after bass. I broke my PB 3 times in one day. Granted, my PB at the time was like 3 pounds and some change, and then I caught 2 almost 4-pounders. The first one I caught was like over 3 pounds.
You're such a pretty fish. 3.71. I officially just broke my PB.
So that was like, oh cool, new PB. And then I caught 2 4-pounders.
Not only did I break my PB, I just broke it again. He's about the same, but he weighs a little bit over he's like 3.78, not 3.71. Oh my goodness, y'all, I can't believe this.
And then I caught a 5.2.
Jesus. Okay, up. you go off the ground. Oh my God, y'all. You see this? Jesus. Oh. Gotta breathe. Just a little. Holy crap. 5.2 pounds. 5.2 pounds, y'all. Oh, he's heavy.
So, this lipless right here, guys, just is the money for me. And I would definitely give them a try. And just, by the way, guys, all the baits that I'm going to be talking about, you can go grab over at Carl's Bait and Tackle. They're over there. They're great. I would definitely recommend there. Generally speaking, a lipless crankbait is going to have no lip. It's going to have some sort of bait fish body imitation. And then it's going to have, 2 treble hooks. Now, like I just showed you, there are exceptions. Sometimes you get ones that have the hook, and what you do is with this hook here, you tie the line through the hole there at the top. It goes through, and then you tie on your hook. And from my experience, guys, as far as the hookup ratio, I have not noticed a lack of a hookup ratio with just the one treble hook on there. And some guys actually prefer it that way. Some guys will even throw it in there with no hooks. I don't really know what that's about. Maybe it's a thing. Some guys I've seen will have the one hook hanging, and then they'll put a spinner on this back hook, where typically the second hook will be. They'll put a spinner just for some extra flash. There's a lot of different moderations. There's a lot of different things you can do to lipless crankbaits to make them what you want to fish with. They are slowly but surely, not slowly, I don't even know what I'm talking about. They are quickly like one of my favorite lures to fish with. Lipless crankbaits can shine in just about any season. There is a time and a place where you can play with it in any season, I believe. Now, I know that they shine more in the fall and in the springtime. And that's because that's when the fish are, eating, that's when the bass are feeding up on the bait fish. And so therefore, the lipless crankbait is just one of the perfect things you could throw out there. Because a lipless crankbait was made primarily to imitate a dying bait fish. Now, when it comes to coloration, a lot of the times you're going to be throwing something that's in that natural color. I generally shoot for like a bluegill. This one right here, this is just one of my favorites. But you got other things that have just that natural, bait fish looking color to it. Even that tiny little clutch that I got. Tiny little thing. But the other color that shines that you should have is some sort of red. And the reason why is a lipless crankbait can do really well in deep waters. And it can imitate that dying bait fish that's falling down, and that bass will just come and get it. This one, these colors, these red colors right here. Here's another one for you. This one I just found on the middle at a pond. Just take that back up. Not looking good for the pictures back here. What are you doing? Red does really good in the shallows, and the reason why it does really good in the shallows is because when the bass start feeding up on those crawfish again, right there in the fall time, like right now, for example, they're starting to feed up more on crawfish. That's where their forage is starting to go, from the bait fish to the crawfish. So you can throw these down in the shallows and you scurry it along and make it look like a scurrying crawfish, and those bass will just attack it. Now, I know I showed you guys earlier the sounds that these make and the different sounds that you get from different ones. Even this one's a little interesting too, that one that I randomly found. Let's talk a little bit more about why there are different sounds. Let's see, the deep one I think I have is this. That thing just wants to keep falling over, so that's just where I'm going to leave it. The deepest knocker I have is this one right here. I think that's the deepest one. Maybe not. Hold on. Is this one deeper? There's more in there. This one's only got one knocker. There's one knocker in this one. And that's that Biospawn Rattlebot. And that's in the crawfish pattern that they have. They have a crawfish where the eyes are at this end. And then they have their bait fish. And you'll see the eyes here at this side. And they have something in that one that sounds more like... No, where is it? The rattle. That sounds more something like that one. And that's because, typically speaking, when you hear a lot of rattling and you're getting a lot of motion, Those are the ones you're typically going to be fishing probably more when the water's at a hotter temperature and a warmer temperature, where those bass are just feeding and their their metabolism is up and they're feeding on the fish all the time. Those little BB sounds, for some reason, it's all about the speed, and those little BB sounds just make a lot of noise and it gets their attention. When you have just like a one knocker, I've heard that it's really good to throw those more in the slower and colder months, because everything is slowing down. So you would imagine like a deeper kind of thump. It's slower, essentially. Now, there's different ways of fishing the lipless crankbait. Again, it all depends about the season. During the fish and during the springtime, during the fall and during the springtime, you can constantly literally cover so much water, just throwing it out there, cranking it, give it a couple of tugs, cranking it, tug. There's a lot of that burn, pause kind of thing a lot of people know. And then there's my favorite way of fishing it in the cold of winter, and that's the yo-yo method. And that's where literally when you throw it out there, you let it wobble on down to the bottom. You pick it up, it wobbles up, and it wobbles back down. And that is the perfect imitation of a dying bait fish. You don't hardly move it as far as when you don't really reel it in. You pull it up and you let it settle, and then you reel in your slack. That, to me, that yo-yo method, I swear, in the middle of wintertime, if nothing else is biting, that's what I'm taking out. If I'm seeing especially bait balls just piling up somewhere because they don't know where else to go, that's what I'm throwing right in the middle of it. The best place to actually fish a lipless crankbait wouldn't be what you would actually think. Grass and lipless crankbaits go together like peanut butter and jelly. I know that sounds crazy because you have exposed treble hooks, but the idea behind it really is to have your bait kind of hanging right there above the grass. And then when you feel a little bit of that tug from the grass, if you sharply pull up, a lot of the times that will trigger that bass to just and engulf that whole lipless crankbait. And then, like I told you guys, that yo-yo method. Dead of winter, just cold waters, and let's say you have like a bowl pond or something like that. You don't really have a whole lot of structure or anything for it. The grass is dead. Just look for those bait balls. That's my personal experience. That's what I was looking for when I fished with the lipless crankbait. I found bait balls. In the middle of winter, I don't know what it was. I don't know why. It was on a pond. It was a normal thing. You start seeing the bait balls right there. If you find the bait balls, throw right in the center of them, and those bass will be waiting at the bottom. And if it's the one falling down the fastest, those bass will take it again. Again, using those bait fish colors or those red crawfish, patterns like that. The lethargic bass in the wintertime, they'll see it as a fleeing meal. They'll see it as something that's dying. It's easy, and they don't want to waste all their energy. So if it looks like an easy meal, they're going to take it. When it comes to the setup of a lipless crankbait, if you ask 5 or 6 different anglers what you should fish a lipless crankbait on, you're going to get probably 5 or 6 different answers. So generally speaking, you want to have a generally good speed. So I would say probably a 7-1 or up. You don't want to go too fast with it either. So I wouldn't really go any farther than like an 8-1. The 7-1, 6-1 at the very least if you have to. I mean, it'll get the job done. 7-1 ratio right there is probably that sweet spot, as you would say. And as far as the rod itself, I would do somewhere from a medium heavy, and then this is where the biggest kicker and the most controversy comes in. A lot of people will say, oh, you need a fast tip because you want that action. But the fast tips, a lot of the times, will really mess up your hookup ratio, okay? So a lot of the times you'll have anglers that will say you need a more moderate tip. I have found a moderate tip is good, but I haven't had bad luck with the fast tip either, you know what I mean? I have a couple of rods that are just, if it's what I have with me at the time, I'll throw on a lipless. And if it works, it works. I know that sounds crazy, but when you're a pond hopper and you're only taking one rod and run one reel sometimes, that's what you got. And the kind of line, of course, that you want to put on it is more than likely going to be fluorocarbon. Now, I know a lot of people are a little bit scared of fluorocarbon, especially beginners. I know that's, you know, fluorocarbon is just like a foreign thing. So you can use monofilament as well. You kind of want to use, depending on your lipless crankbait and how heavy it is, you're looking somewhere probably between 12 to the upwards of like maybe 20 pounds. That's a bit heavy. I don't really go up that high, but you know, you can. It's not out of the general ratio of pounds for line. So that's the type of line you want to use. Now let's talk about the actual weights and, you know, the different weights that lipless have. Another color that I didn't bring up is a yellow pattern. Now I do have yellow pattern here. As you can see, it's unopened. I've tried fishing them before. I have not personally had any luck on a yellow crawl pattern. I'm not sure if that's just my area or what it is, but maybe I just haven't fished it enough. I don't have a whole lot of confidence in the color. So maybe I need to fish it some more. Maybe I'll get some confidence in it. But as far as I know, it's supposed to mimic, you know, crawfish. It's a red or a yellow crawl pattern. And the crawfish that I see around me are usually either a darker type red, which I know in this camera that doesn't look too dark red, or they're in that brighter red stage, which is what this clutch is good for. It has some yellow in it. And I do catch them on this one, but that red fiery orange up there up top, I think, is what really catches their attention when it comes to crawl patterns. Overall, lipless crankbaits are going to have the same general shape to them. Ow, if it would just, it's sticking in my hands. Okay. So they're going to have the overall similar shape. They're going to have that bait fish looking body style to them. You got some that sometimes look a little bit different. You know, a little bit more trying to imitate maybe something else. You got some that are unique and new. They got some, you know, new, these indentions and stuff like that is all about water flow and aerodynamicy, and I know that like really flows well under the water. It comes through and it just rips through the water a lot better. So I know Biospawn was really thinking about that when they created the Rattlebot. You can have bigger style bodies, you can have smaller style bodies, or medium. This is actually more of a regular size as well as this. This is, you know, they're about the same here. And the most popular weight that lipless crankbaits are fished on is probably a 1/2 ounce or a 3/8 to a 1/2 ounce, usually speaking. You have people who will fish them up to 1 ounce, and then you get tiny little guys that are 1/4 ounce. Tiny little guy. I always talk about him because I think he's kind of awesome. I'm so excited to really get out there in the cold with this one. I think this one's gonna. I have a good feeling about this little clutch, man. I don't know, maybe it's because I like how tiny he is. He's so little. Let's just be like, he's tiny. I'm covering his face up. Oh no. But tiny guy. So you have all sizes of lipless crankbait, and it always all depends on the bait fish that are kind of in the body of water that you're going for. You want to stick to the general size of the bait fish in there, because if it isn't the general size that the bass are eating, then they're not going to eat your bait. So that's kind of why most people have this middle size right in the middle. You know, these are all about the same. You know, maybe a little different. Little different, but not much. They have a general size. And then they all weigh different sizes. That's what's crazy. So this is 5/8 of an ounce. This is 1/2 ounce. This is 1/4 ounce. And this is a tiny one though. Sorry. I know I keep talking about that. I'm not sure about this one here. To be honest, like I said, I found this out on a pond. Feels like it's probably about 1/8 of an ounce. 3/8 of an ounce. It's not quite as heavy as of a 1/2 ounce. So, and then you got the Rattlebot. That's a 1/2 ounce. It managed to hook up another little EWG hook that was hanging out over here. But all different sizes. You got all different weights. They're fun. I don't know what else to really tell you about them, guys. They're fun. Go fish them. If you're not really sure as far as where to fish them and you're afraid about getting hooked up somewhere, go to some place that you know has some open water. Practice with it. You can cover a lot of water pretty quick with a lipless crankbait. And right now, with the water cooling down and them still attacking the shallows, and then some of them are going out deep, a lipless crankbait can literally cover both sides of the spectrum there. So go out, try it today. Tell me what you think. Also, something I forgot to mention. The size rod that you should get is somewhere between like a 7-foot to a 7'6". Again, that's all about an opinion. My go-to right now is a 7'1". It seems to do pretty good with me. I have a fast action tip on one, and then I have a moderate on the other. I have no complaints about either one of those as far as hookup ratio and sensitivity. My rods are great. I love them. And yeah, guys, I'm not quite sure what else you guys want to know about lipless crankbaits. We got it all pretty much covered, right? We got the weights that are covered. The sizes they can change, but you have a general size too. And you got all different good colors. A lot of the times you just get those bait fish colors. I stick with bluegill type patterns. So I stick with, I've shown you guys a million times already. This is like the money. That shine right there in the water, that bluegill, that purple. This is another one. I like purple, that white, that orange breast, that white side. That's not even as shiny. See, it's not as flashy, but it still can get some attention. And the red crawls, guys, another tip for red crawl patterns. If you guys are having some dingy waters and you're not confident in fishing a lipless, if you have dingy waters, go fish a red lipless crankbait. Gain your confidence on dingy water. I know that sounds crazy, but a lot of the times if the water's dingy, then the fish don't see it as well. So when it comes to like you trying to figure out your cadence or how you're retrieving it, a lot of the times they can't tell how you're trying to retrieve it in dingy water. They hear it. And so they'll just come for it because they hear it and they'll just attack it. So if you want to gain some confidence in lipless, definitely take it out to some dingy water. And the dingy water, the red ones tend to shine a little bit better. All right, guys, you tell me what I've missed. I hope that I have taught you something. I hope I have gone over enough. But if I haven't, be sure to let me know in the comments what you think and what you want to know more of. I'm sure more videos will come in the future, especially as I learn more, so I will be able to teach more then. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, turn on all your notifications. I got lipless just everywhere. Yeah. Happy holidays, guys. I know all the holidays are coming up. It's getting busy. It's getting crazy out there. And I hope everybody's staying safe. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I truly appreciate it. You have no idea. I just want to be able to give thanks to everybody out there. It's just that time of the year. I'm feeling thankful and grateful, and I'm grateful you're here. Anyway, guys, you guys know how it goes. We are out here fishing. We are out here catching. And we are out here teaching, because I love doing that too. No complaints. Name that tune. No? No? I don't know. I don't know why I'm still here. I really don't know why you're still here, but I'm glad you're still here.